Hello and welcome to class, the virtual class. Please put on your thinking cap. Is this a baseball cap or a thinking cap? Do I look like I'm playing baseball? No, I don't play with toys. I just do homework. Now, what are we talking about today? Are we doing another review? No, we are not. We're going to do reading and then your favorite thing, writing. But first we have to talk about something, and you are going to say something bad. Don't say anything bad. You know the rules. I say grammar, you don't say grandma. I say kitchen, you don't say chicken. I'm going to say claus. Don't say Santa Claus. Are we talking about Santa Claus today? No. We're talking about a time clause. Do you know what a clause is? Now, before we talk about a clause, let's talk about Santa Claus. How do you spell Santa Claus? Santa, you know how to spell that, but how do you spell clause? Capital C because it's a name. Is that right? Yes, it is. Do you see Santa Claus? Is he in Taiwan or is he in the North Pole? Very cold. Now, let's look at the word clause. Not the name Santa Claus, the word clause. Is that a capital C? No. How do you spell the word clause, not the name? C-L-A-U-S-E. Does everybody see the letter E? That means it's not Santa Claus. And of course, the C is only capital if it's the first word in a sentence or if it's in the title of a movie. Now, bye-bye Santa Claus. What does that mean? Clause. What is it? Well, it has a real answer that maybe is too hard for you to understand because there's words you don't know. So let's just make it easy. A clause is part of a sentence. That's it. So now let's look at a time clause. This is the part of the sentence that talks about the time. Let's erase the definition. And let's give an example. I will say a sentence, and you see if you can find the time clause. I got home from school and did my homework before dinner. Did you see the time clause? Before dinner is telling you when you did something. Maybe it's telling you the time, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Or maybe it's just telling you when, but it doesn't say the real time. So, I brushed my teeth after dinner. I eat dinner before I brush my teeth. These are telling you when something happens, even though they're not really telling you the time on the clock. So, I think you understand. Now we're going to open our world and we're going to do a little reading and we're going to look for the time clauses. Ready? Open your books. Now we are on page 158 and look at the top. It says Your favorite word, writing. Ready? Activity 1. Read. When you describe an event, you can use words such as first, then, next, and after. After that, to show when things happened. Underline the words that Hassan uses to say when he did things. Now, don't underline because you know my eyes are very bad. I'm a grandfather. I cannot see the underline. You need to draw a box around those words or highlight. But we're not doing that right now. First, let's just look at those 4 words. First, next, then, and after. Yes, your book says after that, but we're just going to stick with after. Ready? First, then, next, and after. These are time clauses. They tell you when something happened. Let's talk about your day. First, you had breakfast. Then you went to school. Next, you had lunch. After that, you went home. Very easy. You're not saying 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, but you're telling me when something happened. So, these are the ones in your book, and I think they're very easy. So let's just practice some more. Do you think these 4? Do you think these are the only ones? No, of course not. So, here's another one. If first is a time clause, then maybe the opposite. The opposite of first is last. So, I did many things today. I ran to school. I rode the horses on top of the school. And last, I did homework and went to sleep. Pretty easy. But let's go down to the word after. What's the opposite of after? Before. If after is a time clause, then before is a time clause. I brushed my teeth before I went to sleep. This was also the example I used before. Ready? So what can we put between last and before? What can go between these two? How about this one? Between. Now you remember this from our oral test in 2nd grade. Where is the coffee table? It's between the couch and the big screen TV. So that was not telling us when, that was telling us where it is. How about when? What did you do between breakfast and dinner? I had lunch between breakfast and dinner. I went to 7-Eleven between the end of school and going home. There's lots of ways you can use the word between to tell us when. Now, the word next, we're not going to give the opposite of that. We're just going to use a different word that I think you know. Until. How can we use the word sentence, the word until, in a sentence? Well, are you going to watch this video until the end? Or are you going to stop? You're not going to watch all of class? You're so bad. No, you're going to watch until the end. Until the Our World song. It's voluntary, but you should practice. How about this? We have a virtual classroom. We're not going to school because of the virus. How long? That's a time. How long? How long will we have a virtual classroom? It's very easy. We will have a virtual classroom until the virus is gone and we can go back to school. Do we understand how to use until in a sentence? I think you do. But now you know until is telling you a time. I was not playing with toys. This is not a baseball cap, it's a thinking cap. Now, we did a preview of the vocabulary, the time clauses. So now it's time to read. Take out your pen or pencil or highlighter and remember to put a box or highlight the vocabulary words for the time clauses. Ready? It's time to read. My perfect weekend. I got up early on Saturday and it was warm and sunny. First, I ate my favorite breakfast, a bowl of yogurt, honey, and nuts. After that, I went fishing with my friend Yildiray? Yilder. Just say it fast. Yildiray. We took lunch with us. We were out all day. In the evening, I watched TV with my brothers. On Sunday, we didn't get up early. I read, past tense, do not say read. Ready? I read my comic book in bed. Next, we got ready to see my favorite soccer team. We went to the stadium. My team won, of course. We sang and shouted a lot. It was a fantastic weekend. Did we forget one? Did he say the word then and we didn't see it? Go back and look. I got up early on Saturday and it was warm and sunny. First, I ate my favorite breakfast, a bowl of yogurt, honey, and nuts. After that, I went fishing with my friend Yildiray. We took lunch with us. We were out all day. In the evening, I watched TV with my brothers. On Sunday, we didn't get up early. I read my comic book in bed. Next, we got ready to see my favorite soccer team. We went to the stadium. My team won, of course. We sang and shouted a lot. It was a fantastic weekend. Did we see the word then? I didn't see it. So that means it was just an example, but it's not one that they put in the story. Just like I gave you more examples, and they were not in the story either. So, we need to write our story about a perfect weekend. And we need to use time clauses so that you can tell the order of what you did this weekend, or on your perfect weekend. Ready to start writing? Yes, you are. You love writing. Now, highlighters and pens away. Take out your pencil. And eraser. Okay, it's time to write, but before we start writing here on the computer, I'm going to show you a picture, a photograph of my book so you can see my HBox. This is what we're going to write. I want you to see how big it is, how long it is, so you know if you can write big or small. Don't write too big. This is a long story. Okay, back to the paper. It's time to write. First, we need the title. Yeah, sorry. My perfect weekend is the title. Now, did I write it on the left, on the right, or in the center? Remember, the title goes in the center. Now, we're going to start. Remember, indent. I was very active this weekend. You can put a box around active or not. It's okay. You don't need to. But right now, just look at the word. Do you know this word? Did we talk about it before? I think we did when we talked about exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, squats. You know the word activity. Activity is a noun. If you do lots of activities, you're not lazy, you're active. Okay? Next sentence. We took the... Now this is going to be a capital because it's a name. The high speed rail. Do you know what the high speed rail is? Well, you know high speed. It means fast. HSR, high speed rail. I think you have seen this before, but maybe you were looking at the Chinese name. The high-speed rail is the very fast train. There are two train systems in Taiwan. If you want to go down to Taichung, you can take the regular train, or you can take the high-speed rail. Much faster. It has another name. Do not write this. I'm going to change the color. When I change the color, you don't write. Bullet train. Do you know what a bullet is? Is it very slow or very, very fast? It's very fast. So, the high-speed rail or the bullet train. We took the high-speed rail to Sun Moon Lake. Did we talk about Sun Moon Lake? Yes. It's the most popular lake in Taiwan, I think. What is our next sentence? What did we do at the lake? Did you ride a boat? Did you jet ski? Or did you swim? Or did you fish? We're going to say, you went fishing. So, how do you make that past tense? It sounds like a T. Fished. We fished and swim. How do you make that past tense? Swam. We fished and swam. Don't forget your period. Now I'm going to erase this because we have much more to write. We're halfway done. We have 3, maybe 4 more sentences. So we're going to erase this. We fished and swam. I practiced. When you're swimming, you practice sometimes. But what are you practicing? How to swim? Yes, but there are different ways to swim. Sorry, I keep hitting the button. I practice different strokes. What does that mean, stroke? Don't write the arrow. I'm going to change color so you don't write. Let's go green. A stroke is one move. Remember, move is a verb. If we want to make it a noun, we can just say move or movement. One movement is a stroke. There's a stroke in golf. There's also a stroke when you're writing. I'm going to write the letter A, a capital A. How many strokes? 1, 2, 3. 3 strokes for the A. How many strokes for the letter W? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 strokes. What about in Chinese? How many strokes when you're writing a Chinese word? Let's write the Chinese word for little. 1, 2, 3 strokes. So easy. See, I'm very good at writing Chinese. Now, what about swimming? There are different strokes in swimming. There's the backstroke. There's the breaststroke. And then there's other names like freestyle and dog paddle. Do you swim like a dog? Do you dog paddle? Ready? But if you're going to practice different strokes, let's practice the hard one, the backstroke. Oh, sorry. I need to change the color back. I don't like the backstroke. Sorry, my K is ugly. Because, and why? Because it's impossible. Sorry, I forgot the letter L. It's impossible to go straight. Now, period. When you swim, do you swim in a straight line or in a curvy line? You probably swim in a straight line. But when you're doing the backstroke, you cannot see where you're going. So if you start to turn, you don't know it. Think about how hard it is to draw a straight line. Is that a good straight line? Is that a good straight line? No, it's very hard. That's why we use a ruler to draw a straight line. And I'm just using a couple fingers to draw a straight line, and I cannot do it. So now use your whole body in the water, and you cannot see where you're going. Very hard to go in a straight line. But is it impossible? What does that word mean? Impossible. It means something cannot be done. Can people fly? Yes, in an airplane or a helicopter or whatever. But can you just start moving your hands very fast to fly? No. What if you try really hard, you practice, you study? Then you can do it? No, it's impossible. Is it impossible to swim in a straight line when you do the backstroke? No, it's not impossible. Some people can do it. So it's possible. But if something's very, very hard for you, maybe it's easy for another person, but it's hard for you, is it okay to say impossible? Yes, it's okay to say it. We know it's possible, but we just want to say impossible. Back to black. Okay, one more sentence, and we're going to use a word from the last oral test. My family had such a good time at Sun Moon Lake. We want to do this every year. We may make this an annual trip. So, I'm going to show you my H box again. Now you can see the whole story. I know it's hard to see if you're watching this on a phone or a computer. It's a lot easier when we have a chalkboard. But we have to do this until we're back to school. Now, did we use any time clauses in this story? No, we did not. Because I think that's very easy for you. You don't need lots of practice with the time clauses. But did we get any good vocabulary in the story? Yes, we did. Let's get out a highlighter. Let's go with purple. So, you can put a box around annual if you want to, but you don't need to. That's not a new vocabulary. We had that last test. But backstroke? No, we don't need backstroke. But strokes. Do you remember what a stroke is? One movement with your hand or your body. Impossible. And one more word you should put in a box or highlight. High-speed rail. Ready? Let's do it together. I'm going to put the whole story, and we're going to do a box around high-speed rail, strokes, and impossible. Okay, we are finished with the H box. So finished with page 158. Or did we finish?